right, so this lesson is on prepositions and prepositional phrases. And this lesson is a big change from the grammar lessons that we've done so far. You know, when we're talking about nouns and verbs and adjectives and adverbs and pronouns, those are the words that hold meaning in a sentence. Those are often the bigger words and the words we pay more attention to. Prepositions and conjoiners, which is what we'll study in the next series of lessons, those are the structural words. Those are the words that hold everything together. So if we want to think about the metaphor of a body, nouns and verbs and adjectives and adverbs and pronouns, that's kind of like the heart and the brains and the muscles and the blood. You know, prepositions and conjoiners, those are the skeleton, those are the tendons, those are the cartilage, those are the things that hold everything together. So, and very often these are the smaller words. And I'm going to tell you, they seem smaller, they're easier words, they're the first words we learn in a language, but very often if we miss a preposition or miss a conjoiner, we lose the whole sentence. So we want to pay close attention to these. And so like I said, prepositions are structural words. They put nouns and verbs in their proper places, and they show relationships with other nouns and verbs in a sentence. Right? And prepositions tell the location of a noun, or which noun, or when or where a verb is taking place, right? So I mean, these are the key ones here. Location, or which one, kind of like an adjective, like I'm going to talk about in a moment. Or when or where, kind of like an adverb, right? Right? So they do have some modifying properties, but the big thing is they are structural. And finally, prepositions should always be part of a prepositional phrase that includes the object of the preposition and any modifiers of the object of the preposition. And that's a huge statement. That's a mess right there. The big thing is that they have to be part of a prepositional phrase, and that'll be the last part of this lesson here. So if your head's spinning a little bit, stay with me for the next few minutes, and it's all going to become clearer. Right, so here's a list of the most common prepositions in English. I don't believe this is all of them, but these are the big ones. And I don't want you to copy this down. That would be ridiculous. I'm going to give you a paper copy to keep in your binder. You'll have it available for your quiz on prepositions in the Moodle, as well as anything I ask you to do in class. But notice some of the big ones here. You probably want to write these ones down. About. These are the ones that you're going to see a lot. And again, like I said, this isn't all of them. But these are the big ones, and the ones I'm underlining here are like the big ones. So yeah, I'd say go ahead and write some of those down just so you have some examples in your notes. But please do not copy all of these down. And hit pause if you need a second, but I'm moving on. All right, so prepositional phrases. And again, there's a lot here, but once you see it in action, it's all going to start coming together, right? Prepositional phrases can function adjectively, meaning they're like an adjective when they tell the location of a noun or tell which noun, or they can function adverbially, right, when they tell when or where the verb is taking place. So let's look at some examples now to become much clearer, right? The cat on the fence would make a good target, right? So here's our preposition on. The object of the preposition is fence, and the whole phrase here modifies cat. So this phrase is acting like an adjective. It's telling us which cat would make a good target. Okay, so it's modifying cat. Same thing here. The boy with the black shirt and the boy with the blue shirt are my sons. Same thing here. Preposition. This is the object of the preposition. And this is modifying boy. It's which boy we're talking about. So again, it's an adjectival. Same thing here. Same pattern. You'll notice the patterns, right? Grammar is all about patterns. Keep looking for the patterns and you'll understand it. It's just like math, just like science, just like music, just like art. The beauty of this is in the patterns. Right? My sister will be at school at 9 a.m. Okay, so at modifies school, and this is acting like an adverb. It's modifying be, and then at 9 a.m. Same thing here is modifying be. It's telling us when and where our sister will be. Okay, so I think I got some more examples for you here. Oh, so let's go back to this term, the object of the preposition. Right, the object of the preposition will always be a noun or a pronoun, and it is the word modified by the preposition. Right, so more examples here. On, right, fence is the object. The is modifying fence. It's an adjective, right? Okay, we've seen this one before. Kind of a review. Same thing here, preposition. The modifies shirt. Black modifies shirt. With modifies shirt. Shirt is the object. Okay, same thing here, right? This modifies shirt. Shirt is the object. And this is modifying the other boy. Okay, same thing. Again, notice the patterns. This seems very complicated and very technical, but once you can recognize the patterns, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it definitely becomes easier. You notice the structure of the language, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful that our brains can do this. Can we take a moment? Can we think about that? You know, why? It's a miracle, really. It's a miracle that our brains can do this. So, you know, keep that in mind as we go. So, the other thing I want you to understand is that prepositional phrases are mobile. We can move them around. It's kind of like adverbs, right? So look at all, you know, I've got all these prepositional phrases marked out with brackets. You know, with is a preposition, love is the object. Same thing here, with is a preposition, love is the object. But notice the sentence, right? Anything is possible with love. Or I can say with love, anything is possible. Right? It kind of, you do want the emphasis on love, or do you want the emphasis on possible? It's kind of neat that we can do that. Right? Anything is possible with love. Emphasis is on love, right? Or with love, anything is possible, right? Emphasis is on possible. Erase that, right? Same thing here, right? I have to go to the store at noon. In this sentence, right? At is modifying noon, and they're both modifying when you have to go there. Okay, or I can say at noon I have to go to the store. Okay, again, emphasis here is on store and on noon. Here, the emphasis is on noon and on me. Okay, right? So only Yoda can say sentences like at noon to the store I must go. Right? So prepositional phrases, you can put them in a lot of places. You can't say anything though, right? At noon to the store I must go. Right? But Yoda can move X-wings with his mind, so Yoda has special powers. Right? So let's look at some more examples here. Right? I ran to the park at the end of the street. This one's a mess, right? Here's our noun, here's our verb, and then look at this. To modifies ran, at, end. At the end of what? At the end of the street. Okay, end modifies street, but the whole thing here modifies park. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing your brain does that? Right? Because to modifies the running, but the rest of this modifies the park. Right? And we understand what that means. Right? Let's look at another one here, right? At that time, I was so in love with her that I lost my head in her beauty. Very poetic, right? At time. Okay, but what is this modifying? It's saying when I was so in love with her, but in, modify, you know, love. This also modifies, this tells what I was with her. I love her and I'm in love with her, right? That tells where I'm in love. That I lost my head in her beauty. That tells really where the losing takes place. Okay. Same thing here, in front of what? Of the school. Okay, front modifies this. Okay, but the whole thing is where I want you to meet me. Okay, so I know this starts to look crazy, And I'm not going to ask you what's being modified here. I'm just going to ask you to identify the preposition and the object of the preposition in the whole phrase. Okay, so don't freak out on me. You can do this. But I'm also kind of showing you the more advanced side of this as well. Because again, to me, grammar is evidence that the human mind is a miracle. Right? I am writing in regards. That's what I'm writing about. To your former employee. That modifies regards. So, again, I want you to notice the prepositions, the object of the prepositions, the prepositional phrases. Just in case you're curious, this is a pronoun to modify employee, and former modifies employee as well. I'm sorry, brain's freezing for a moment, but yeah. Preposition, object, preposition, prepositional phrase. All right, so that's it. Lesson completed. And we'll look at these a lot in the future. So, there's a lot to this. It's complicated, but you're going to get it. So, just keep an eye out for those prepositions, and it'll become much clearer. Thanks for watching.